Hi, I'm Helen Hudson, the founder of Safe Showings, also a realtor here in Charleston, South Carolina. Appreciate this opportunity to share with you my story, my passion for realtor safety, what actually happened to me that inspired me to create Safe Showings. And I'll explain what makes our app unique and give you some best practices for how to use the app. But before I do all that, I want to make sure you know how to access the app for free because your association has invested in your safety. So congratulations. Let me get you to the next screen. If you could right now, everybody has a phone, just hold up your phone and scan the QR code that you see in front of the screen, and it will prompt you to put your first name, your last name, your email address. Then it's going to ask you for a code, and that's where you're going to type free for me, just like you see it there, capital F, the number 4, and a capital M. It is case sensitive. The app will prompt you to put in your 3 emergency contacts, and pretty much you're ready to go from that point. So just keep that in mind. It's super easy to register and just put in the free for me code. I want
Did
to
you
share
know
with
that
you
over 760,000 real estate professionals have had situations where they feared for their safety when they enter a property alone with a stranger? The Safe Showings mobile app was developed by a realtor to give real estate professionals proactive control over their own safety. It is quick and easy to record names, automatically capture exact GPS addresses, and it prompts you to capture a secure image of each potential buyer's face, a feature unique to Safe Showings. Over 200 real estate professionals have been murdered in the last decade while showing homes to prospective buyers. Safe Showings provides protection and peace of mind for real estate agents, homeowners, and potential buyers as it aims to deter crime before it starts. With Safe Showings, real estate professionals and their loved ones feel more secure, knowing that Safe Showings will automatically notify them with identifying details and geolocation in an emergency. For more information, visit safeshowings.com.
7 years ago, I was a new realtor here in Charleston, and I went to show a property to a buyer. I drove up to the neighborhood and the hair on the back of my neck stood up. It just didn't feel like a safe area. But I parked my car. I waited for the buyer to arrive. He arrived. We went in the home and I left the door open. We're always taught to have an exit strategy. He went to the back of the house and he was on his cell phone. And a minute later, a truck drove up. 2 men jumped on the porch, and that's when my heart stopped. I thought, oh my gosh, nobody knows where I am or who I'm with. That's where my story begins. Thankfully, I'm here to tell the rest of the story. They were driving by. They saw the for sale sign. They saw the realtor magnet on my car, and they noticed the door was open. So they thought it was an open house. I regained my composure and gave them my card, told them to call me for an appointment. But I left that situation changed. I knew that I was given a second chance. As you heard, over 200 realtors have been murdered in the last decade. I've read the stories of the 16 that you see pictured here, and I can tell you, if they could speak to us today, they would tell you they didn't know they were going to lose their life when they went to help a buyer or a seller. So we have to be very careful in today's world to be in control of our safety. You probably know about Beverly Carter. Her son Carl and I have done podcasts together, and he said, Helen, I think if my mom had Safe Showing, she might be here. So that's my big why. We also could put homeowners at risk, not on purpose, but if your house was on the market, I could bring somebody in not knowing they have a criminal background, and they can scope out your property, look and see where your security systems are, where your child's bedroom is, and where you store your valuables. They could come back in 2 weeks or 2 months and harm you and your family. So when you're thinking about your own personal safety, we need to also think about our listing clients and keeping them safe. I did research before I built Safe Showings. I worked with, I think, 4 or 5 developers to create it. But I really thought I could find a product that I could use that could help me deter crime. I was looking for 3 things. I wanted to make sure that buyers and sellers know before they meet me that I'm in control of my safety. And I also wanted to find something that solved that feeling of fear I felt that day when I said nobody knows where I am or who I'm with. Most of the products can tell your emergency contacts where you are, but that's not good enough. If those 3 men had killed me, that's just going to tell the 3 emergency contacts where to tell the coroner to pick up the body. You can be in control of yourself when you're using Safe Showings. It's pretty simple. Reactive approaches would be if you carry a gun but you don't tell people or they don't see it on your hip, they don't know you're in control. So I love to have my partners and members use the app in a proactive way. I'm sure there are people that might use it in a more private mode, but I'm going to tell you the best practices for using safe showings. It starts when you're in the safety of your office. We're all setting appointments on the phone. That's when you let people know, hey, our association cares about safety. We use Safe Showings. It's a realtor safety app, and we're required to take a photo before we enter a property. Just like a doorbell camera, when you present that you're in control ahead of time, you're going to deter crime. The number one fear a criminal has is not the punishment for their crime, it's getting caught. They look for easy targets. So if you're ahead of the situation by telling them when you're setting the appointment, if I'm a criminal or I'm thinking of committing my first crime, I've been stalking you on social media, and I hear that you have a safety app, before I even meet with you, I'm going to hang up the phone and call somebody else. And your association has these talking point graphics that we can share again, but it kind of reiterates the best practices. Start from the safety of your office, let people know you're using safe showings. Then, when you arrive to the property, you're in your car, you're there hopefully 20 minutes early. You press a button that says create the showing and the timer starts. The next thing our app will ask you is, um, who are you meeting with? That's the key component that helps us catch a criminal. And you don't have to type anywhere in our app. So you just touch on John Smith or whoever it is you're meeting with. You touch their name and your contacts, and it gets uploaded into the app automatically. Here's a quick demo of how easy it is to use Safe Showings.
By downloading the Safe Showings app, you're proactively preparing to take advantage of more secure client contact when conducting open houses and showing appointments. Start by entering the emergency contacts of your choice, like friends, your broker, or family members. It's an easy one-step process. The app features an easy-to-adjust timer feature that will alert your emergency contacts if you've not responded during the time frame you have set. When showing properties, the app will track your exact location via the GPS feature. You can autofill your appointments information right from the contacts in your phone. You can see that the app provides significant safety at this point, but there's more. When first meeting with the appointment, use your phone to snap a photo of the client. Research demonstrates that this approach is the best way to deter criminal behavior. Now your contacts will be notified if you don't check in based on the timer, and identifying information based from show. All of these features give you accountability for safely during your showings and open houses. Following each showing, the app gives you the opportunity to make a record of the appointment. The app provides free form notes that the app will store for you. By the way, the Safe Showings app saves all the information from each showing so that you can go back and review your opportunities for sales. The open house feature provides the same great security options. Always be sure to get the facial image for all contacts during your open houses. There is a handy 5-star rating system for your showing contacts. This, along with your notes, can alert you and others of potential problems from a suspicious person or from any previous showing.
A lot of times I think it's helpful to go through the screens so you can kind of get used to how to use the app. And I always hear a lot of the same questions, so I go over the common questions and answers. People ask me, why are you so passionate about getting a photo? They also say, what do the buyers and sellers say when you tell them on the phone that you're using a safety app and you're required to take a photo? And the third question they ask is, where does the image go? The first question, when this happened 7 years ago, it took about a year to work with a developer to create Safe Showings. And in the first version, because there were many versions, we were passionate about getting an image of a driver's license because in 1986 I managed apartments. And if you've ever been to apartment community, you've probably had to show your driver's license and release it to them. They would hold it in the office before they'll show an empty apartment. And I thought that would be the best approach for our industry. And I was going to the NAR conference, the legislative conference, really to get ideas before we travel for 2 years to promote safe showings. And I was up early. I wanted coffee and breakfast. And I'm trying to go down these stairs. And I see this guy. He's holding 2 cups of coffee. He looks like Duck Dynasty. And he said, "Who are you?" And I jumped back. I was like, "Who is that?" He said, "I saw you on the airplane. I saw you 2 more times." And I told myself, if I saw you again, I was going to find out who you are and what you do. And we became business partners. We were on the same flight because he's from Charleston too. But when I got back to Charleston, I'm sitting in his office and he said, "Why are you getting an image of a driver's license?" And I told him why. And he said, "You need to get an image of a face." And I thought, why did my developer suggest that? That's so smart and it's so easy. He said, "Think about it. When you tell people you're going to take a photo, they can't fake it. They're going to look like it. And they can't say they forgot their face." So that's why we're passionate about that. We gave this presentation to the chief of police in Charleston, and he said, "You're making our job so much easier." The biggest question, though, we hear is, what do the buyers and sellers say when you ask or tell them that you use Safe Showings, the realtor safety app, and you're required to take a photo? I always say reverse the role. If you were buying or selling and you had nothing to hide, and you had a realtor tell you before they met with you that they use a safety app in today's world, would you be offended? I wouldn't. I don't have anything to hide. If somebody's offended, there's probably a reason that the hair on the back of your neck might stand up. It might be somebody you don't want to work with. We've had roundtable discussions about this with local realtors. We all agree, whether you're a buyer, seller, or a realtor, we're going by doorbell cameras, we're going by ATMs, public buildings, airports. Your video of you is out there and your pictures are out there. So there's no reason to push back. The image of the person you take goes to our cyber secure cloud. That's important because if you follow the process we teach, you tell people before you meet with them, you use Safe Showings and you're required to take a photo. And then you arrive to the property early. The next thing the app is going to ask you when you press the create showing button is, who are you meeting with? And when you touch on Kevin Johnson's name, it goes into the app automatically. If you get out of the safety of your car and Kevin Johnson attacks you and destroys your phone, your 3 emergency contacts will still be sent the last location of the phone, who you're with, because you populated that before you got out of the safety of your car. And if you took the photo, they'll see that as well. Our app starts at 45 minutes and counts down. This isn't showing time, it's a safety app, and it knows where you are. So if you change your route based on what they say about a house, you decide not to show the second property, this is going to update as soon as you get in the car, street by street, road by road. This is updating. When you put the car in park, it saves that next address. I don't want to wait 19 minutes 7 years ago when I'm standing on that porch with 3 men. I want to call for help right away. So we built an emergency alarm feature. We put it in the menu section. The top left is the menu, and there's the emergency alarm button. It's where your thumb would be, so we felt like it'd be important that we put it where it's behind the menu section. And when you press the emergency alarm, it calls 911 in 10 seconds, and it sends your 3 emergency contacts your exact location, who you're with, and an image of their face if you take the photo. The first step after you register is put in your 3 emergency contacts. We feel like 3 is important for obvious reasons because some people might be on vacation or not have their phone on. So you have to put in at least 3. You can put more. Open houses are different. We don't know who's coming ahead of time. We don't have that opportunity to say to them face to face would be awkward. You don't have a phone to say, "Hey, I use Safe Showings." So we handle that differently. You still put in the number of hours and the number of minutes. When you get to your open house, it calculates that total time for you. The way we suggest you handle open houses, you just greet people at the door or outside, depending on the weather. And you just say, "Hey, the homeowner has required that I be accountable. I just need to get a quick photo." If there's 7 people, it's 1 picture. It's the actionable step of taking a photo that can save your life. If I'm standing there thinking of committing my first crime, or I'm a criminal and I hear that you can place me at this address at this time and you've got a photo, I'm going to think twice about targeting you because there's a high risk that I could get caught. I'm going to look for an easier person to target. The app does save every single showing you have with buyers or listing appointments. It has the name of the person, the address you were at, the date, the time. If you choose to make a CRM note, you saw in the video, you can type buying in September. You can skip that. There's nowhere you have to type. If you can press buttons, you can use this app. You just press create showing button. That's one button. And then we have an in showing button. When the timer gets down to 5 minutes, that 45 minutes counts down to 5. We're going to send you a text that says, "Are you safe? Reset your timer." It will supersede anything you're looking at on your phone. You have to reset the timer or it's going to do what it's supposed to do. And it will, after the time runs out, it's going to send your 3 emergency contacts a text saying there might be a problem. There'll be a 3D image of where you are, the exact address, your person's name you're with, and we have their phone number in our cyber secure cloud, and a photo that you take. If you choose not to take a photo, just be consistent for obvious reasons. There is a way to turn that off. Talk to your association about that, but it's all or none. You can't be choosy about it, but it would just skip taking that picture. But we feel like that's the most critical part of our app that really helps deter crime. And let me think. Oh, the very last feature of the app, when you're in the privacy of your car, you hit the end showing button, the showing's over with. It just asks you to rate how you felt from a safety standpoint, just like Uber and Lyft. It's exactly the same process. It's going to ask you to put how many star ratings from a safety standpoint. Most of the time, we're going to give people 5 stars because if you use the product the way it's designed to be used, you're not working with a criminal. I was working with Kim Hall. That's her unique phone number. She comes to your market, your members on the phone and says, "Hey, I look forward to meeting you. We use Safeshowings. It's a realtor safety app." She'll probably interrupt you and say, "I know about that app. I worked with Helen in Charleston." Even if she doesn't, another safety tip is if you're setting appointments as we suggest in the privacy of your office, you told them you use the app, you hang up the phone and you press the create showing button in the safety of your office. Then it'll ask, "Who are you meeting with?" You touch on Kim Hall's name and you'll see one realtor's rated the client, just like Uber and Lyft. You have to give at least 1 star. If I had a negative situation, I would give 1 star and I would go to the optional notes section and say, "Hey, call me. Here's my cell phone. I want to tell you what happened." That's how we keep each other safe as an industry. And your association has invested in your safety. So this app is free. Do not go to download from the App Store. That's important because you will be prompted to pay for it. If you go to the App Store, you do need to use the QR code, and you can scan it now here at the end of the presentation. Again, just hold your phone up, scan the QR code. It'll prompt you to put your first name, your last name, your email address. Make sure you type all that information correctly. And then the last thing it'll ask you is type in your code, and that's where you type in "free for me." And it's just like you see on the screen. It's capital F, REE, the number 4, capital M, and lowercase e. If you have any issues when you're using the app, there is a contact us button. You're welcome to reach out that way. We respond usually pretty instantly. Worst case scenario, 24 hours, you'll have a response back. I appreciate your time.